friends, it's Judy Clock, your independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Middletown, Virginia. And I'm coming to you tonight for another live tutorial featuring the Round We Go stamp set. We go switch that. So this is one of the bundles that is on sale. It's one of the new bundles that came out in May. And it's got these great images with these matching dies that will cut out some of the stamped images as well as some extra images. Let's take a look at what these will cut. So you have these two round circles that will, if you stamp the images, this one will go on here and this one will go on here. It's got a couple of extra circles that you can use to back or to hold together your rosette, which is what you can make when you use this die cut piece. And then it's got a couple of these other like accent die cuts. Like if, for example, you could use these to kind of leave a circle inside the circles. So just a couple of extra pieces that you can use. So there's 10 dies all together. And this is what each image cuts out. And we'll take a look at what each one of them does. So we're going to work on 2 cards tonight. But before we do that, I want to take a commercial break and I want to show you the cards for my July workshop. Registration is now open. It's featuring the Flowers of Beauty. So we've got, this is one of our designs. Okay, this is another design, just a little fun fold. Okay, we've got kind of a simple one here with just some simple stamping and a few simple die cuts, just using those beautiful Flowers of Beauty dies. Okay, and then we've got a really cool fun fold. This will pop up. See it slide it up, and it kind of stands up on its own. So that is the 4 cards for our July class. So you can go to my Stampin' with Crafty Clock Facebook page, and you can find it under the events section. All the information you can attend virtually or in person, and all the information is on my Stampin' with Crafty Clock Facebook page, including a link to register. So let's take a look at the cards we're going to be making tonight. So this is our simple stamping card. We're just going to use those great rosette, kind of like Rosetta stamps, to just kind of create a background, and we're going to make a birthday card. Okay, so that's kind of a simple one. And then we're going to step it up. We're going to do a bunch of die cutting, and we're actually going to put together one of these rosettes. And these would be great. Can you imagine if this is like had the ribbons hanging down? You can make like a ribbon, with that. If you had like I don't know, like a end of year school or a party, and you wanted to make like party, birthday girl, birthday boy, or something, you can really use this rosette for a lot of different applications. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So for our first card, we've got our base. This is Petunia Pop. It's our standard 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And if you're watching from a different market, I always on the blog post include both the imperial and metric measurements. So just be sure that after this video ends, probably tomorrow, I'll put up the link to the blog post. If you want all the measurements, you can get them from the blog post. So go ahead and let me know where you're watching from. Let me know if you're watching live or on replay. I love to see where people are watching from. We've got 2 pieces of basic white that are 4 by 5 1/4. We're going to put one on the inside. One's going to go on the outside. And we've got another piece of Petunia Pop that's 2.5 by 1.5. And we're going to put on that a piece of basic white that's 2 1/4 by 1 1/4. And that's really all we're going to use. You're going to add some more pretty iridescent striped ribbon just to give it a little bit of bling. And we're going to use some rhinestone basic jewels. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's work on our inside first. So we're going to use 3 colors of ink. We're going to use our Pretty in Pink, our Petunia Pop, and then we're going to add a little in Summer Splash as an accent. So let me just move some of this out of the way for a minute. All right, let's go here. We're going to stamp in our Petunia Pop we're going to stamp happy birthday. All right. And then on that little piece of basic white, we're going to stamp time to celebrate. And again, this is going to be in our Petunia Pop. Okay. Then we've got this other stamp. It's a decorative stamp. It looks like just a bunch of slashes. And we're just going to kind of add this in our Pretty in Pink to our side. Makes me think of like a baseball, like the stitching on a baseball glove for some reason. I don't know, maybe just because it's baseball season. My husband's been watching the Yankees. Okay. Oh, that's a little bit off, but that's okay. If we don't like it, you know what? If we don't like it, we can always flip it over. Let's flip it over. Let's start again. All right. It was off. So I'm going to add this. Okay. And then tell you what, we're just going to stamp this once right in the middle. Don't have to worry about it. There we go. All right. So those are our two pieces. Let's put these aside for now. And now we want to stamp some of those pretty, I would call them rosettes or circles, whatever. So I'm going to stamp this one in pink. Okay, and I just want to kind of cover my card here. And they're not going to be, I'm not paying attention. Let's start again. That's the beauty of paper. There's two sides. Okay, there we go. And we'll stamp one more partial one down here. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and take our other one. One has rounded edges. This one has pointy edges. Let's take our pointy edged one. And we'll stick that there. We'll stick that there. And we'll stick this one here. Okay. And then we're going to come now. We have these two solid circles. So I'm going to stamp these in opposite colors. So the bigger one will go inside the pink circle. Okay. Don't worry if they're a little off. It's okay. I don't know. Oh, I have something underneath there. That's why. Oh, what the heck is that? I don't even know. All right. Well, we'll try to fix that a little bit. Right, there we go. All right, that's a little bit better. And then we've got that. See, I put this paper here because I knew I was going to be stamping off, and I didn't want to have it go on my glass mat because then it just ruins the other paper that you put on top of the ink on the glass mat. But I did not realize that I had something on the other side of this. Okay, there we go. Now, let's go. We're done with these. Now, we're going to add a little bit of our, sorry, I'm trying to close these without breaking a nail, because that would be tragic, right? Oh, and I just, look at that. I just stuck my fingers on the stamp pad as I was trying to close it. Okay. Baby wipes to the rescue. Let's try to close this one now without sticking our fingers in the stamp pad. All right, now we're going to come here with our Summer Splash, and we've got this other little stamp. It's kind of like stars and dots, and this is just going to be a little accent stamp. We're just going to kind of fill in some of those white spaces with our little accent stamp. Again, some of this will be stamped off, and that's okay. We knew that going in, that it wasn't going to get all of it. Just want to get some of it. Okay, this is just going to add a little bit more interest, kind of just pick up some of that white space that we have going on. All right, and maybe just one little more tiny one there. All right, that looks good. I'm happy with that. So now we are ready to go ahead and assemble our card. That's all the stamping we're going to do. So very simple. All we did, excuse me, all we did was use 3 colors of ink, and we've created kind of our own background paper, and we're good to go. All right, let's go ahead and put this in. There's our mistake. No one will ever know once it's adhered to the inside of our card. No one will be the wiser. Okay, we've got that in there. Okay, let's go ahead and add this to the front of our card. Doesn't matter which way, whichever way you want to go. I'm going to go that way and kind of put that bad stamp down there. Kind of a not a great stamped image, but that's okay. All right. Okay, we got that. Now, let's adhere this little piece to our little piece of Petunia Pop. Come on. Okay. All right. I'm just going to have a little bit of that Petunia Pop. Now I'm going to add some adhesive to the center of my little Petunia Pop, the back on the Petunia Pop. And I'm going to take some ribbon. Okay, I don't know, maybe 6 to 8 inches. Just kind of eyeballing here. Let's see, how long is this? So it's just about 7.5 inches. And I'm just going to kind of wind this like this. If that doesn't work, let's see. Let's see if that will work. If not, you might just do it like the old. Yeah, that's not going to work, I don't think. Will it? Okay, we're just going to do it like this. Okay, kind of just like that, and just stick it down so it goes on our card like that. Right? You want to make sure you adhere that. Okay, perfect. Now let's add some dimensionals to the back of this. And it looks like I've just got a couple of edge pieces here, so we'll use these. Okay, now, so I'm going to kind of stick on the ribbon too to kind of help hold our ribbon in place. All right. Oh boy. Sticky, sticky. Okay, push that apart a little bit. Stick that there. And there we have our time to celebrate. Now we can finish this up. I'm going to just trim this the other way because I don't like them going the same way. I like them going different ways. This one's got to be trimmed. Okay. And we'll just trim this one just another teeny bit. There we go. And then we're going to add some rhinestone jewels to it just to kind of give it a little bit more glitter. And then, oh, thanks, Joan. Oh, this set is out of stock. Hopefully it'll come back. I can check later and leave a comment and let you know when it's due back in stock. I think it's just a fun set. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, I have to get that one. Okay. I'll put one down there. And that is our first card. So we used Petunia Pop, Pretty in Pink, Summer Splash, all of our new in colors. Well, 3 of our new in colors. And we just created our own, excuse me, our own background paper, just using those stamps in the stamp set. So if you don't have a stamp cut and emboss machine, if you're just starting out and you like this set, you can use it with just the stamps. All right. It just went on SU, but it's back now. Oh, good. Good. Okay, then our next one, this is going to be a little bit more involved. So our base is Blueberry Bushel. I am using, where is that paper? I have to say, I bought this paper because I liked the colors in it. This is the Full of Life 6x6 Designer Series paper. I like the colors. I'm really not a fan of the patterns. I think some of the patterns are very difficult to use. So I'm still playing with it. I'm sort of on the fence about whether I love it or whether I don't like it. So stay tuned. But it's got great colors. That's for sure. It's got great colors. But the pattern's a little difficult. All right, so here's our base. It is Blueberry Bushel. I've got a piece of basic white for the inside of our card. It's 4 by 5.25. I've got a piece of the Designer Series paper. This is 4 by 5 1/4. See, originally I kind of wanted to use this side because I thought, oh, I've got all the circles going on. It was too busy. It was just too busy. So I'm like, well, maybe the solid side. So the solid side worked better. And then I've got a couple of scraps. I've got a scrap of Misty Moonlight, Pretty in Pink, Daffodil Delight, Summer Splash, Blueberry Bushel, and Balmy. I thought I had Balmy Blue. I have to go get a piece of Balmy Blue. And then I've got a piece of that Designer Series paper, and we're going to use this to make our rosette. Okay, let me just go grab a piece of Balmy Blue. I thought I had that one, but for some reason, it's not over here. It's probably over there. I probably just don't know where I put it at this point in time. But that's the great thing about having lots of scraps. Okay, this will work just perfectly. All right, I had an extra circle that I had punched. All right, let's go ahead. Let's do some die cutting because there's really not a lot of stamping to this, but there is quite a bit of die cutting. So we're going to use this one. No, we're not going to use that one. We're going to use this one and this one and this one. We can get them all off. And this one and this one and maybe this one. Maybe this one. We'll take it off just in case. Okay, so these are the ones that we are going to be using. All right. So let's see how many I'm going to bring in my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss because it looks like. So the first thing I want to do is I want to cut my rosette, my strip for my rosette. So you have to cut 2 of these. You'll need to cut 2. And 1 6x6 piece of paper is like just enough to get those, like you can get 4 strips out of it. So if you're making like 2 rosettes, you can get enough. So let's cut this. We're going to cut this one. All right. And let's cut one more while we have this one out. See, it cuts it and it scores it. Well, it scores all the little fold lines that we're going to need. All right, so this one might be a little tight. Let's see. I might have placed this a little bit off. Let's see. I thought this was going to be enough. Maybe not. We're going to give it a try. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to line up my, maybe not. Well, for now, we're just going to cut it. Maybe this was, I don't think I placed them quite enough. Come on. All right. It'll be close enough for our purposes here. Come on. All right. All right. There we go. Okay, so now we've got our second one. Now we're going to take this is coming out of the blue, and this is coming out of the, I think that's Shy Shamrock. So we're going to do these 2. Get that out of the way before that ends up on the floor. Okay. All right. Okay, so we've got, I call this like the pointy end rosette, and this is the rounded end rosette. Okay, so they have 2 different looks. And then we're going to do a pointy from the Daffodil Delight and a round from our Misty Moonlight. Put this back here. Okay. There we go. All right. Oops. There we go. This was a scrap that I already had the adhesive sheet on the back. And you can use that. These are small enough that we can actually just use a glue dot and it'll be fine. Okay, so those are done. Let's take our blueberry bushel. We're going to get this big one and this small one. The small one's kind of an optional piece because I put it on the back of my rosette just to kind of give me something to use to glue the rosette onto the card. So you don't really need it, but I think it's useful to have it. So that's why I did it. Okay, and then one last die cut. I told you there was a lot of die cutting. All right, we're going to die cut this first, and then we're going to stamp on it. I found with this particular stamp, it was easier to sort of line it up once the piece was die cut. We'll see how it goes. Worked great in practice. We'll see how it goes tonight. All right, those are all our die cut pieces. So that's it. So we're going to start with our rosette. So you'll notice that on each piece, where's my other piece? Son of a gun. Each piece has this one end that's got sort of the mitered corners. So you got to start, it doesn't matter if you fold that one back or forward, as long as you do it the same on each of the two pieces. So I'm just going to fold it back, and then we're just going to accordion fold all of these other pieces. And I have got to find that other piece that we die cut, because otherwise I can't show you how to make the rosette. I know I put it off to the side here. Does anybody else have that happen where the gremlin comes in? Oh, here it is. And just moves stuff. And then like things that you literally had 2 seconds ago, it's gone. Yeah, it's that craft room gremlin, I think, that just lives in every craft room. He's very annoying. Let me know if you have a craft room gremlin in your room. All right, so now we've got that. So we've got that one. So again, we're going to do the same thing. Again, it doesn't matter if you start folding it up or back, but just do the same on both. Okay. Well, this one's going to be a little bit off because I kind of didn't have a full piece of paper, but for demonstration purposes, it will be fine because I actually already put one together because it's going to take a while for the glue to dry and for it to lay flat. So I didn't want to waste all that time on the demo waiting for it to dry. So we're just going to show you how it goes together. Okay, so now we've got our two pieces. We're going to bring in our silicone mat. Okay, and we're going to use our liquid glue. So I'm going to put a little bit of liquid glue on this mitered piece here. And I'm just going to put the end on it from the other one, not the mitered end, the opposite end. Okay, so we're just going to let that kind of give it a second or two to just kind of set, because you know this glue really does set very quickly. But if you don't have a silicone mat, I highly recommend it. It's very useful when you're working with liquid glue. See, and I was impatient and I didn't wait long enough. Okay, and that's why I was saying you gotta be. This is a very patient process. I'm not usually a very patient person. Okay, so we're going to come here. We're going to put some glue on this mitered piece. We're going to kind of swing this around, make a big circle, and we're going to put this other end. We're going to glue that down. Okay, so now you've kind of got this circle of I don't know, like a crown almost. All right. Now, you can do one of two things. You can do it where the pointy end is out or the rounded end is out. So you'll see here, I did pointy end out. Okay, you can do rounded end out because one side is rounded, one side is pointed, so it's your choice. So let's just stick, and we're going to stick with doing our pointy end out. So now you just kind of want to this is the part that's kind of rambly. You just kind of want to fold it down, okay? And just kind of fold it all down. It will all go down. I promise you, it will go down nicely, right? Okay, there we go. Come on. Come on. All right, there we go. We're getting there. Gonna point that one up. This one needs to come up. That one needs to go down. And that's why I knew you had to do them the same way, because the first time I didn't, and it didn't go down nicely. Okay, so now we've got this down, right? We're going to add some glue. I'm going to kind of put some glue in the center. Okay, just to kind of help hold it all. And I'm going to take this large blueberry circle. It's got the like the etching, the embossing on it. And we're going to add some liquid glue to the back of this. Okay. And then it's really kind of a two-handed endeavor. We're going to put that on the center of our rosette. Now, you want to put some weight on this to help keep it down. So I'm going to put a block. I'm going to make sure that I have this. Hold on. Make sure I have this where I want it. Okay. Because we want to make sure that this stays down. Okay. All right. So now with the block on it, that will help. Let it dry. And we're just going to kind of move this out of the way for right now. But that will help it to kind of set. And when it's all done, I flipped it over and I add the other little blueberry circle to the back because that gives me something to adhere to my card front. All right. So let's go ahead and get ready to assemble our card. Let's go stamp on the inside. We're going to use our Blueberry Bushel ink. All right. And I'm going to stamp. It's your day. This is your day. This is your day. And then I'm going to stamp the happy birthday. Let me just clean it off because I also used happy birthday for the other card and I haven't cleaned it yet. So just give me 2 seconds to kind of do this. All right. And my little tower of ribbons is falling. All right. Okay. And then I have a piece of scrap white paper, basic white, and we're just going to stamp hip, hip, hooray. And that's going to be for the front. And everything is going to be in Blueberry Bushel. Okay, so we're just keeping it kind of simple. It wasn't a good ink up. Okay, and this is just a scrap. It's like a 1/2 inch wide, but it's perfect. Okay, and I'm just going to use my snips. Just kind of trim that off. Okay, perfect. And that is it for our stamping. So now we can get ready to put this together. So we're going to put our piece of basic white on the inside. Now, there was a question the other day in one of the Facebook groups I belong to. Do you or don't you stamp a sentiment on the inside of your cards? It was pretty much split 50-50. So this was just a scrap I had left over when I trimmed down this piece, and I hate to waste them. So I'm just going to go and add this to the inside of my card because it's already 4 inches. So why not go ahead and use this and just make the inside of our card a little bit prettier. Okay, I'm just going to put that right there. Maybe if I can get it lined up correctly. Okay, there we go. Let's go ahead and add this. All right, this is going to go on the front. Oh, we do have to stamp one more thing. I forgot. One more thing. All right. All right, so now we've got that done. So now what we're going to do is we're going to like intertwine these so the misty moonlight will show up in between the balmy blue. Okay, and I'm just going to use a little bit of liquid glue. Okay, so we're going to do that one. Okay. And then I like the liquid glue because you get a little bit of extra time to make sure everything's in place. Okay. Don't worry if it's not perfectly lined up because some of this is going to be hidden underneath the larger rosette. And then we're going to intertwine the same here with the Daffodil Delight and the Shy Shamrock. So I'm going to put the Shy Shamrock on the bottom because that's got the adhesive sheet on it. So it'll be a little bit easier to stick on our card. Okay, now this one we're going to see more of it. So I'm going to be a little bit more of a stickler for making sure those kind of all are intertwined. Okay, but isn't that pretty? All right, now for this one, I want to stamp. Oh, and I think I cut the wrong one. No, I didn't cut the wrong one. I did cut the right one. I just have to clean this one. I forgot we used this for the first card. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to stamp the pointy rosette in Pretty in Pink on Pretty in Pink. Okay, so we're doing tone on tone. Get that out of the way. Because you know me, I make a mess. There's a possible way to make a mess. And I know it's like 80, like 90 degrees out today, but it's very cold in my basement. All right, so now I'm just lining up the points on the die cut piece with the points on my stamp. And there you have it. Okay, 6 of one, half a dozen of another. If you want to stamp it first and then die cut it, or die cut it and then stamp it, really your call. Okay, and I'm going to come in with our Petunia Pop, and I am going to, oh my gosh, excuse me. I don't know why I'm so tired today. Probably the heat. Okay, and we're going to stamp our center in our, don't mind my big head. Okay, there we go. Stamp our center in the middle. It's a little bit off center, but that's fine. All right, let's layer up our Hip Hip Hooray on our piece of Blueberry Bushel and get that ready to go. Okay. And this is a little bit longer, so I'm going to trim this, just trim this down with our scissor. Yeah, that's a little bit longer. Probably because I cut that white piece a little bit shorter. There we go. Perfect. Well, not perfect, but close enough. I'm going to need some dimensionals. There we go. There's my other sheet. Okay. So now before you lay anything down, we're just going to go ahead and kind of like put stuff where we think we want it. Okay. And then once we have the placement that we like, then we can start adhering everything. Okay. And then we can put this like right there. Okay. So kind of like that. So I'm going to just add a little bit of liquid glue because that's the only part that's going to be glued down. So it'll be easy to sort of add this stuff later and just kind of slide it under our rosette. Okay. So let's go ahead and add this. Like I said, since some of this is going to be underneath our rosette, we can decide which part we want underneath. Okay, same with this. This again, I'm going to use just a little bit of liquid glue, and I'm going to add just little tiny drops to these outer petals. I'm not going to worry about the stuff that's going to be underneath our rosette, but I am going to just kind of add just a little bit, little tiny dots. Okay, that's just to help hold it down. It's really no other reason. Okay, it's not like it needs it. It's just, okay, I'm just going to kind of slide that in there. Okay. Now this one is going to be a little bit easier because this has almost all of adhesive sheet on it. So that was just a happy accident on my part because I did not realize that that piece of scrap had the adhesive sheet on it, but it's going to work out. All right. Come on. There we go. All right, now this one I'm going to have a little bit more of this sticking out. Okay, like maybe like that. Okay. And again, if you wanted, you could go back and add some little drops of glue underneath these green ones. If you wanted to add like just a little tiny dot, just to kind of hold them down. That's up to you. You can go ahead and do that if you want. I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back of our sentiment. Nope, come on. Let's not stick on me. Let's stick on the cardstock. This is a rough night. Everything's sticking everywhere. Okay. And then we're just going to go ahead and add that down there. Hip, hip, hooray. And let's finish this up with some rhinestones. If I can remember where I put them. Now, I can't find the one I had out, but we got another pack. So we will just open up this pack and go from there because that craft room gremlin hit again. Oh, good. You just ordered it? Oh, good. And the gremlin's all over your house. Shown ya. Same. All right. That little gremlin. He's a little bugger. That's for sure. All right. Maybe this one we'll put on. I like to do things in odd numbers. So maybe we'll do like 5 on here tonight. Just why not? Let's just go crazy. And just kind of put all kinds of stuff on here. And that is our second card. So here's the first one that we were working on. So you can see I did have that on there. It's still not quite set. So you would have to just like leave it on there for a bit until it really sets really well. And then I would come back here and I would add this piece to the bottom, and that would just help hold everything. And this probably needs more glue. Okay. Same thing. Put that on there, and then I would put the weight on it again to kind of just keep it down and keep it flat. But that will work, and then you'll get this beautiful rosette. And these were our 2 cards. Whoops. From tonight, our simple stamping card and our stepped up card where we did a lot of die cutting. And that is it. Thanks, everybody. I hope that you enjoyed this. Stay tuned for the blog post that will have all the measurements, including imperial and metric. And I will be back next week. Next week, we're doing a throwback, and we're going to do ice cream swirl because it's summer and it's time for ice cream. That's it. Have a great weekend, everybody. I will see you next week. Bye.